Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to a new video. So we're in my bedroom today and I'm about to commence with a super chatty, chilled out, Q&A, catch up, bit of girl talk, girl advice kind of video. Because I really enjoy watching these videos on YouTube. I love nothing more than when I'm doing my hair and makeup and just listening to someone chat. I honestly just really enjoy it. And yeah, with it being a new year as well, I thought let's just catch up, let's just talk. And that is pretty much it. I've just made myself a nice cup of tea, although it has been a few minutes and I don't know about anyone else, but when I drink a cup of tea, it has to be that right temperature. If it's too cold, nah. Too hot, it just doesn't hit the same, does it? Like, it has to be that perfect tea temperature. Is that just me? I feel like it's just right now. If I leave it any longer, it's going to be too cold. Anyway, I'm rambling, let me shut up. Okay, so I've screenshotted all the questions. We're just gonna get straight in. There is actually so many. Do I start with assumptions or questions first? Because I only had like 4 assumptions. Okay, let's just start with assumptions real quick. The first assumption is you are a loyal friend. Yes, 100%. I mentioned this before, but as you get older, friendships do change. You know, your friendship with someone when you're 21, 22, young, free, single, and just like living your life is so different to your kind of like later 20s for most that are then getting in relationships, having kids, settling down. You know, you become a bit more distant, you don't see each other as much. Things just change, people's priorities change. However, that does not mean that I will not be there for someone. So, you know, I might only see my friends every 6 weeks. However, if they phoned me and had an issue, they needed to pick me up or anything cracked off, I am there. Like, I will always be there for them. You know, my friend a couple of months ago rang me and was like, Laura, can you just come pick me up? I just need a chat, I need someone to talk to. And I was straight there, like literally, I dropped what I was doing, I got in my car, went to Leicester, picked her up, and I was there. So yeah, I would definitely say that I am a loyal friend. I think that's so important with a friendship as well. Okay, next assumption is Mitchell doesn't like me vlogging. So, it might appear from the outside looking in that Mitchell doesn't like me vlogging because I feel like sometimes he may come across a little bit awkward or, you know, he doesn't like the camera. But you have to understand that Mitchell's never been with someone that does this for a job, and it's not typically like the normal job, is it, that someone is a YouTuber, I guess. So I guess it's hard and a bit unusual for him to be with someone that is constantly, you know, vlogging and has a camera out, because he is very shy and quite a reserved person, you know, like he has social media, he's not active on social media. So yeah, I'd also say Mitchell's quite like insecure, weirdly. I don't know why, because he honestly has no reason to, but yeah, I don't know, like he's just not that confident on camera. So that's why it may give people the kind of vibe that he doesn't then like me vlogging and stuff, but it isn't anything to do with that. Like obviously he's so happy with me vlogging, doing my job and everything, he's really supportive of it. He just doesn't like being on camera all the time himself, but it's definitely something that he's getting used to, because it's so hard for me. Like obviously I would never ever pressure someone to be on YouTube, to be on my channel, because I completely respect and understand that not everyone wants to be on YouTube. You know, it's my job, not theirs. So I feel like some people in this industry are on the lookout for like a vlogger boyfriend, like they want a little dream team going on and things like that. I'm not bothered. Like, this is my channel. My partner wants to be on YouTube and, you know, do videos with me. Cool, fine. Like, I'm more than happy for them to come into this little world and do that. But in the same breath, if Mitchell was completely like, I don't want to be on your channel, I don't ever want to talk on your channel, then, you know, I have to respect that as well. But it's not that he doesn't want to be on the channel, it's just that he's a little bit shy and just not used to being on the camera, which is something that he is like working on. It's so funny because when we did that Christmas video, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we tested like M&S food and we just had like a cute little dating night in. He said to me after, like, I actually really enjoyed that. Like, I enjoyed answering the questions, I enjoyed being on the camera. And, you know, it wasn't anything I pressured him into. I just said that I was thinking about doing that kind of video. Would you be interested in doing it? And if he had said no, then obviously we wouldn't have done it. But he was like, no, like, I'm quite happy to do that. So, yeah, where am I going with this? I've gone off on a tangent again. I always do this. The assumption was that Mitchell doesn't like me vlogging, but no, that's far from the truth. Okay, next assumption is you're really down to earth. What you see is what you get. You're genuine and really lovely. First of all, thank you so much. It's honestly so kind of you to say. I feel like this is quite hard to answer without coming across like arrogant and egotistic, which I'm definitely not. But I would like to consider myself a very down-to-earth, laid back, what you see is what you get kind of person. Again, I also do like to think I'm a very genuine person, because I guess it kind of like coincides with what you see is what you get. Like, I am just who I am, and if you don't like that, then you don't like that. So yeah, I like to think I am them things. Moving on to the next assumption, I have a feeling you'll have a clothing brand in the future. I feel like this is wrong. So I'll explain. Obviously, I don't know if you guys know, you probably do, but my job before YouTube was actually in fashion, in the fashion industry, and I was a fashion merchandiser. So in a nutshell, that job is essentially seeing an order come through the door for, you know, a fashion retailer such as Missguided, Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, and I would have that order, and then I would run that order from start to finish. So I would do everything from sorting out fabric consumption, making sure that order then gets put in with the factory for cut and sew, then making sure that order then moves to print if it needs to go into print, if it's got like a digital print on it, and then maybe that needs, or actually the wash comes before the print. So let's say if it needed acid dyeing, I would then have to book it in with the dyers, and then I'd have to have that moved from the dyers to the printers, and then I have to move that to packaging, back neck labels, swing tags, and then finally it then gets shipped out to the retailer. So I very much know the manufacturing process of garments like the back of my hand, because that was my job for so long, and I kind of worked my way up to senior merchandiser. So yeah, I know all the nitty gritty behind fashion, what goes on, how garments are made, costs, prices, everything like that. And I feel like doing that job, knowing that knowledge, and knowing what it takes to have a business in that industry, I honestly would rather not. It is so stressful. So obviously I work for a manufacturer, so they was just trying to, you know, make themselves a successful manufacturer, you know, making garments and stuff for the likes of PLT and that. And that in itself, there's so many overheads, there's so many costs, there's just so much to it. And I feel like, firstly, to set up your own clothing brand, you don't necessarily need a lot of money in the bank, but it helps. It will help massively. And it depends what route you want to go down, because you could just merely buy wholesale stuff. So you could go on places like Alibaba and, you know, approach people overseas to make your garments and things, which is a lot cheaper. Obviously, overseas is always cheaper. It's how it always was when I worked with, you know, the likes of Missguided, PLT. They would have a lot of stuff going through UK because the kind of like shipment time is a lot quicker, but on the whole, it's a lot cheaper for them to go overseas. But anyway, again, I'm going off on a tangent. So it's a hard question, because obviously I love fashion. I live and breathe fashion, and you know, how amazing would it be to have your own brand? It would be, but I just know how much it takes to run a successful fashion business, the investments, the cost, the loss, how long it will take you to even see profit, because, you know, at first, like the first few years, you just essentially need to be putting back what you're making into the business. I don't know, it's a lot. And obviously with clothing as well, there's a lot of returns, so you have to think about your return rate. People trying things on with you, like, you know, probably having the stuff, wearing it a million times and sending it back, because obviously when I worked at Missguided, that was something, you know, I become aware of that happens a lot. Don't get me wrong, although I'd love to do something within clothing, I feel like personally, I would prefer to work with a brand and have my own range and have it designed from start to scratch and do it like that. Dream would be Primark. I mean, that is just a freaking dream, isn't it? Because I don't ever think that would happen. And that's not me being negative. It's just, there's a million YouTubers out there that are so much more successful than me. And I feel like a lot of times brands just look at numbers more than you as a person and what you're capable of, because honestly, like, again, not to blow my own trumpet, but I think I could smash a range of Primark. Like, oh, it would be so exciting. But anyway, yeah, so answer is no, I don't see myself having my own clothing business in the future. I would love to have a business. I don't think it'd be clothing. I have other ideas of what I would do. Probably fake tan. Yeah, don't know what people think to that, but I am a big fake tan lover, and I always struggle with tans. Like, I go through stages with all different tans, and yeah, I'd kind of like to have my own, because I feel like I know what it takes to have a good tan. Whether I could ever come close to making that formula, I don't know. But yeah, I feel really passionate about fake tan, so I feel like I'd actually have a fake tan business if I was to do anything. But clothing wise, I definitely just prefer to work with a business already and just bring out my own range and that kind of thing. So anyway, that was such a lengthy response. I do apologise, but you guys know I do like to talk a lot. So I actually answered this on Instagram the other day, but I just thought I'd include some of these in because there were so many and you might not have seen my Instagram stories. But it was, do you miss living in Leicester? No. Easiest no I've ever said. Do not miss living in Leicester at all. So I'm actually in Leicester quite a lot because my family live there, my friends live there, Mitchell lives there, so I don't escape Leicester. I am always there. It is nothing personal to Leicester. It is not me slagging Leicester off as a place to live. It is merely what I went through when I grew up there, and for me it just caused me a lot of unnecessary anxiety. I just got to the stage where I didn't like going out. Obviously you guys know I suffer with body dysmorphia as it is, and it made it 10 times worse living there because of everything that had gone on when I was younger, and then the fear of seeing people and what they'd think of me, and it made my mind even more like toxic. So yeah, I don't miss living there. And then kind of like going on from that question, tell us about the shit you went through growing up in Leicester. Okay, again, need to keep this short and sweet because I could honestly write a book on this, genuinely. I got bullied. So it was on and off between, I would say, year 7 and year 13. Is that like last year at college? From year 10 to 11, 12, 13, 11, so 4 years, it was consistent. Like, it didn't stop. And yeah, it was awful. Obviously, like I say, I won't bore you with the details. It was bad. I don't think people realised how bad it was. School was just a nightmare in the last 2 years. I hated going. I would cry every single night. I used to get bullying via social media as soon as I got home. It was quite like MSN, Bebo, Facebook then. MySpace. Was MySpace? I didn't get bullied on MySpace though. I never really went on MySpace. And to be fair, it wasn't really Bebo. It was more Facebook and MSN. MSN was so bad. Honestly, some of the conversations I used to get sent on MSN with the bullies, like I would block them, and then I remember like there was a feature on MSN where they could add you into a group and add the person that you've blocked weird enough. So I don't ever think they were fully blocked. And then they'd like write so much crap, and I'd get like not death threats, like threats to go and kill myself. So people would be like, go and kill yourself, like go and do everyone a favour and go and kill yourself, no one likes you. Oh my god, like I don't even want to get emotional because it was really bad. So I'm going to stop talking about that. As I got older, it progressively got worse and got more physical. I got beat up 3 times. It was really hard growing up. Really, really hard. I honestly look back and think, how the hell did I come out the other side of that? Like, how did I keep going? But anyway, in a nutshell, that is what happened when I lived in Leicester. Okay, next question. This kind of relates to what I've just spoken about, and a girl has said, I started a YouTube channel, but girls who bullied me from school have found out. Any advice? Do I just ignore, keep going? I'm finding it hard now. Oh my goodness, like firstly, this angers me so much. I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with these. Let me refrain from the words I'm going to say. Sometimes, do you know when people DM me about the fact they're getting bullied, I almost want to say to them, what school are you at? Like, let me come in and have a word with these people, because, oh, you almost just want to, like, shake them and be like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you like this? What are you doing? Like, do you not understand the harm that this is doing to this person that you're saying these things to? So, again, it's quite a hard one because obviously my answer would be, please don't give up. Honestly, do not give up. However, I know it's so easy for me to sit here and say, don't give up doing YouTube, like, they're just jealous of you. It's so easy for me to say that, but then be in a position of being bullied, because this is exactly the same situation that happened to me. So I'm sure that you guys know this, but when I was like 17, I set up a YouTube channel. It was when I was actually, had I left school? I feel like I'd left school, but all the bitches stayed on at college. Sixth form, at my sixth form at the school I left. So, you know, there was ways of them still getting to me via social media, and they did. They all found out about my YouTube, and then I remember going on to Facebook, and then basically every girl that was bullying me had wrote a status like, laughing my fucking arse off, LAURAMLF has got a YouTube channel, who the hell does she think she is? Like, who would take fashion advice off her? Lol, lol, lol. She's such an effing geek. And then like just stuff about me being ugly, and they were just taking the piss out of certain videos. They were then like copying and pasting certain videos. Like, why would people even watch this? Oh, I think I said something about, this always sticks in my mind. I think I said something like, everybody always needs a blazer, like Kate Moss has a blazer. And then they were like literally like putting commas and repeating what I was saying, taking the piss out of it. And then people were joining in the conversation and going, oh my god, what a geek, oh my god, she's such a dickhead, just horrible nasty things, and it kept going on and on and on. And as you can imagine, like logging into your Facebook and seeing these people saying this kind of thing about you, my heart sank. Like I felt so upset, so low. I cried and cried and cried, and my reaction straight away was, I can't do this, I can't cope with doing this. And I carried on doing it for a certain amount of time, but it just became so bad with all of that side of it that I couldn't cope, so I deleted it, and that was it. Anyway, let me just round up this question. Please don't give up with your YouTube if you can help it, because like I say, they are just bitches, they're jealous, they're not nice people, and they want you to fail. So don't give them what they want. That's what they want you to do. However, I know it's not always easy, but if you want to talk on DMs, then please pop me a message, because I'm here. Like, I'm happy to talk to you because I've literally been there. Right, next question. Any holidays this year? No. So, I feel like at the beginning of the year, I was all like happy and buzzing about holidays, and then Mitchell kind of put it into perspective for me. He was like, babe, I think because we're looking at buying a house this year, let's just chill with the holidays. Like, let's not book anywhere. Let's not even think about holidays, because essentially our priority is a house, and it is logical, and it is sensible, and it is very true. So as much as I want to go on a load of holidays this year, because I feel like, I don't know if I dare say this, but I feel like we're finally coming out the other end with the whole COVID thing now. Obviously it isn't going away anywhere. It is kind of always going to be around, I guess, for the next few years, maybe longer, I don't know. But I feel like things are calming down in the sense of, obviously, our life is back to normal now, where we can go out to restaurants and do all them things that we couldn't before when we was in lockdown. But because obviously I feel like travel's a little bit more easier nowadays, being double jabbed and stuff, and obviously I am double jabbed, I kind of thought, oh yeah, like this is the year like we can go away. Well, to be fair, I never really thought that, because I did know that obviously we're looking to buy a house and stuff, so I wasn't like, oh, let's book 10 million holidays. But I was thinking we maybe would go on like one holiday abroad. But then, like I say, me and Mitchell had a conversation, and we both just decided, actually, let's be sensible. Let's not think about booking anywhere abroad until we have got a house. And that's it. And you know, sometimes you've got to make these sacrifices. Like, it's not that we couldn't afford not to go abroad and go and travel, but it's not the priority, and we'd rather put that money into, we don't know what house we're going to buy. We might want to do the house up, we might get a house and need to renovate, so we'd rather put that money into the house. So we're just being sensible. We obviously will do like UK trips, so for my birthday he's taking me to the Lake District, and we're going to have a few days there. I'm hoping to get away with my mum on a little trip in the UK, so I'm going to be making like sensible choices and doing things that are more like affordable in the UK, but abroad, like, you know, going on a 2-week luxury holiday to Dubai or something, like that just isn't in the pipeline this year, because it's not a priority. So yeah, but we've got next year. Hopefully this year I can get housing situation sorted, because honestly I need to get out here now. Like, my rent's been put up again, bills are just crazy with obviously the gas situ, you know what that's about if you've been here a while. So I do just need to get out here now. Like, it was never my plan to stay here for this long, but because I met Mitchell, it was a situation where it was like, do I just go and buy my own house, or do I just wait, because I know this guy is my person and I want to get a house with him? Do I just wait until we're ready to get a house together? Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I just had to stop the filming for a second. I feel like I've now just moved. Oh gosh, am I okay? Maybe I shouldn't touch that. Yeah, I had to stop filming for a second because I was like, oh, I've got a real dry mouth. So I just went and made myself another cup of tea, because guess what? Half a cup of tea Laura left her tea. Does that make sense? My dad always calls me half a cup Laura, because I'll make a cup of tea and then it'll go cold and I don't drink it all. I need like a little mat. I'm gonna like put this on my throw on the bed. Next up, we've got some questions about me turning 30. So there's a couple that kind of all relate, so I'll try and like answer them in the block. So first person said, how you celebrate your 30, if I've got that right. Yeah, you've got it right, gal. Literally 30 this year. Cannot believe it. Like, I'm 30 this year. I still feel like I'm 21. Like, I do and I don't, actually. Do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. Do I still feel 21? I do inside, but I do definitely feel like I have learned so much in my 20s. Like, if I look back at a picture of me when I'm 21, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a completely different person now, because so much has gone on in my 20s, and I feel like I've developed as a person and just grown so much. So yeah, I do still feel young, which I'm not saying I'm old now, I'm 30, like 30 is still so young. It's mental as well, because I remember again being like 20, 21 and thinking 30 was like the oldest age ever. Like, when I would hear someone's like 29, 30, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so old. Oh, this is funny. Can anyone remember like the X Factor, and they used to have the overs category, and I feel like it was over 25, and I used to think like the overs, because obviously I used to watch X Factor when I was like 15, so I used to think the over category was old, but then I'm like, oh my God, like I am the overs category now. So yeah, it's funny, isn't it, like how as you get older and stuff, you just realise things that are not right when you were younger. But yeah, anyway, I'm 30 this year. So for the longest time, I was really dreading turning 30 because, I don't know, I feel like there's this thing where society has somehow made us believe that at 30, you need to have your whole life together, and if you haven't, like, you failed. And I don't know where that is coming from, why that's even a thing, because, believe me, it shouldn't be a thing. But I feel like I've got my head around that more now and kind of like let that drop, because for the longest time I was like, oh my God, I'm turning 30, I don't have a mortgage. You know, at the time, like obviously I've only met Mitchell like a year and a half ago, but when I ended my last relationship and I was on my own, there was a period like, oh my God, I'm like getting near 30, I'm not in a relationship, I'm never gonna find anyone. If I do find people, they're all gonna, you know, maybe have baggage and things, and you know, that's no offense to anyone that's single and has got kids and things like that, but for me personally, I didn't really want to get in a relationship with someone that's already got their own family and things, because I knew I wouldn't be able to cope with that, because yeah, obviously my mind isn't great, is it? Like, I'm still working on that as well. There's just so much I was overthinking, and then I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not where I want to be at 30, like career-wise, like I've not achieved anything, and you know, you can put all this pressure on you. But I feel like in the last year, definitely speaking with Mitchell's help, like Mitchell puts a lot in perspective, my mum does, you know, friends do too, but I do definitely think, one, you can't put age limits on anything. Like, everybody is in their own lane, you're on your own journey, you're on your own path, and you can't compare your life to someone else's, because what you're doing doesn't relate and doesn't matter. Do you get what I'm saying? So who cares if you've not got a house at the age of 30 and you don't have your own mortgage? If that is something that you want to get, then all you have to do, right, is put a POA, plan of action, in, you know, the horizon, and work on what it is that you're going to do to get there. And then it doesn't matter if you're 40 and get your first house. Like, what is the issue of the age? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And if you want to make it happen, you can happen. But I don't feel like an age should determine your success, or an age should make you feel pressured to have something. Like, it will happen when it will happen. It's like with kids. I feel like kids is a different ball game, because obviously, you know, there's science and just facts that as you get older, for a woman, you know, your body clock starts to slow down, it's harder to conceive. So it is more pressure in that sense. So I get that, because I do feel that pressure, because, you know, I'm 30. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm probably stressing about now. It's like, oh my God, I need to think about having kids, and when am I going to have kids, and will I even be able to conceive? Anyway, I'm getting into a whole rambling tangent here, but the question wasn't even that. It was about my 30th plans. But I was just trying to like say, first of all, about like the pressures of being 30, and that was actually the second question. It was like advice on feeling pressured to have your life together approaching 30. And someone actually said, I'm approaching 30 and I feel behind. Don't ever feel behind. Just stay in your own lane. And, you know, if there's things that you feel like you should have achieved and you haven't, then just take a deep breath and think, okay, I've not achieved that, but how can I go about achieving that? And set yourself a goal, and a realistic goal at that. And it doesn't matter what age you achieve that goal. An achievement is an achievement. You know, an age is just a number. So I just think we need to get rid of this whole thing of like, you need to have this life by the time you're a certain age. Like, it's just bullshit, to be honest with you. And yeah, my plans for the 30th birthday, because that was the actual question. I am going to long out my 30th for as long as possible. Let me tell you that. Like, I'm not having a day thing. I'm having a month of my 30th, because I only turned 30 once. Obviously. That's such a dumb statement to me. And also, I'm so excited to be 30 now. Like, I'm actually so excited, because I feel like my 20s have just been an absolute shit show, to be honest with you. I'll be very blunt, like my 20s, oh my god, I look back and think, I wish I'd done this different, I wish I'd done that. You can't look at life like that because it is what it is and you are who you are because of the experiences and the mistakes you've made. But let me tell you now, I've made a lot of mistakes in my 20s, a lot, more than I wish I'd ever done, but I am where I am now, and I feel like I'm finally at a place in life where I've met the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, so that makes me feel so content and at ease and excited for once about my future, excited to buy a house with someone that I know is such a good guy and that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. You know, eventually maybe start a family and things like that. So I feel like I've got so much to look forward to hitting 30, so that's why I'm really excited. Yeah, again, back to what I'm actually going to do. So I am going to go away with Mitchell for 3 days, actually for my birthday, just to the Lake District. We've booked a beautiful spa hotel, which is called, I think it's like L'Adore Spa Hotel. Oh my god, have a look at it, guys. It's so, so good. It's not obviously super cheap, it is a little bit pricey. But it's not as pricey as some of them are. Like, some of them are really extortionate, but it's got like an outdoor pool, all the spa facilities, amazing like walks to do around there, which we really enjoy doing. So I'm so excited for that. And then of course I'm gonna go out for some nice food with my mum and my grandma and have like a little girly day with them. Gonna go out for like a meal with my family. And then on the Saturday after my birthday, I'm gonna have just like a big family friend party get together at my house, because do you know what? Everyone was like, why don't you rent somewhere out? But that honestly makes me feel so anxious to do that, because I know the feeling of hiring somewhere, no one turns up, everyone lets you down. And then I don't like it as well when you've hired a massive room, there's like 10 people there and it just looks empty, and it just, yeah, I just don't feel comfortable with that. I'd rather have everyone come to my house, put on a big spread for everyone just brings their own alcohol or whatever if they want to drink, and just treat it like that, because I've got the space. You know, I've got a big entertaining area, my garden's really big, so hopefully the weather's nice, but that's what we're going to do. I'm obviously going to do something like separately with Danielle, Hazel, so yeah, that's what I'm doing for my 30th. Okay, moving on to the next one. How do you stay so happy and confident? I don't. I think for someone to be and say that they are happy and confident all the time, it's a lie. Maybe they're confident, but definitely happiness. I feel like it's hard to stay happy all the time. Everybody have their ups and downs. Everybody has a day where they might wake up and just not feel themselves, or, you know, feel a bit down and not happy, or they might be going through something. Like, that is life. Like, you can't constantly live in some happy bubble, and if anyone says they do, then they're lying. And I also do think that having them bad days makes you really grateful and makes you feel good when you have a better day. So yeah, I can't really answer how I stay happy and confident. I just try and look at the positives. I just try and look at what I'm grateful for, and just remind myself that if I am ever feeling a bit meh. So that's the only advice I can really offer. Just try and focus on the good things you've got going in your life rather than negatives, if that's what's pulling you down and making you feel unhappy. Okay, next question. I feel like I've probably spoken about this before and a lot of you do know, but just in case you're new here, why do you and Mitchell both live in separate houses? Do you both rent separately? So I rent, Mitchell has a mortgage. So the reason I rent, just in case you're wondering as well, like, why haven't I bought my own house yet? So when I was, how old am I now? So I'm 29. So when I was 26, I quit my full-time job and went self-employed. Now, if anyone knows anything about self-employment and mortgages, you will know, especially for YouTube, they want it in 3 years books, like not even 2 years, they want 3 years. So that brings us to now. So I have only just been able to get 3 years books together for a start to get a mortgage. And also, to be very honest, when I came out of my job, working in the fashion industry, I had hardly any savings. Like, I was rubbish at saving. So it took me a couple of years as well to save. A lot of people aren't fortunate enough to be in a position to rent and save. Fortunately, I have been. And that's why I did it. Else, if I wasn't in the position to be able to rent and save, I would have stayed at home, and I probably would still be living at home right now. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, that's me. And then Mitchell did buy a house with his ex. He then bought her out of the house and now owns the house himself. So yeah, and for us, and the reason why I don't then live with him, because people would probably be like, well, it would save you money to live with him. I get it. He doesn't have enough space. So he has a 2-bed semi. And I obviously live in a 3-bed as it is, and every room is full of my stuff. I have so much stuff, it is ridiculous. Like, I'm honestly dreading the day I move because it's going to be carnage. I'm going to have to like organise and have a big clear out before then, to be honest with you. But yeah, it just wouldn't be feasible for me to live at his because there's just no room for me. There's no room for my stuff. I'd either have to sell all my stuff or then pay for storage. Like I've already said, it's not going to be long until hopefully we do find a house and move out. I feel like I'm going to answer one more question because I've literally chewed your ears off. So, next question is, it's more like an advice question. How do you feel normal again after a 10-year relationship? I'm still heartbroken after 4 months. Okay, good question. I feel like you've come to the right person. I was in a relationship for 8.5, I think it was 8 years, 8.5. I think it might have been like 8 years officially, but we'd been seeing each other like a few months before. So yeah, around about 8.5, let's say. So yeah, you've come to the right person. How do you get over heartbreak? So obviously I don't know the situation, but it kind of sounds like they might have broke up with you, or I don't know, it might have been a mutual thing. But I feel like splitting up with someone after such a long period of your time and feeling heartbroken is completely normal, even if it wasn't you, even if it was you that split up with that person. So as I say, I was in a relationship for 8.5 years, I split up with that person, but did I still feel heartbreak after I broke up with them? Absolutely. Like, I don't know if heartbreak maybe was the right word, but I felt lost. Like, I felt gutted. I didn't want to obviously hurt their feelings. I think that was the biggest thing for me, and that's why I probably put breaking up with them for so long, because I am someone that never wants to hurt someone's feelings. So I just couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't bring myself to break up with them. I felt so bad for doing it, but I knew equally that I needed to be happy. But yeah, like it's a hard thing because 10 years is such a big period of your life. Like for me, that's a third of my life. So you've spent all that time with that one person, you know, they were your best friend, I assume. Like, you know, you did so many things with them and made so many memories, and then to almost like having them there one day to not, like, it is crazy. Like, it's a massive life change, and such a funny one breaking up with someone, and it's so hard, and that feeling is just awful. And especially if they've broken up with you as well, I can imagine that's like even harder, because then you've actually got to go through the falling out of love with them thing, and like, you know what I mean, getting your head around that. But I would just say time is a healer. Like, I genuinely think time is just the biggest healer. I actually remember speaking to someone after I broke up with my ex, and I was like, how do you like just move on? Like, how do you get them out of your head? And like I say, I split up with him, and it wasn't that I wanted to be with him, because I didn't. It was just that, I don't know, I guess I just felt gutted it was over, and gutted I'd spent so much time with someone and it didn't work out, and I felt lonely, and like I said, all them things. And they said to me, like, just because you're thinking about them, it doesn't mean that you want to be with them. Like, they were just a big part of your life, and it's natural to kind of like miss them to an extent, and like, yeah, just feel like in a weird place because you're not in a relationship anymore. And it's like then about finding out who you are and learning to love yourself again, learning to enjoy your own company, learning to be on your own, going out and keeping yourself busy and stuff. And yeah, all I'd say is one day I do feel like you will just get to that day where you wake up and honestly you just don't, like, you don't think about them anymore. Like, you don't feel heartbroken, you feel so over it. You feel moved on, like, you don't care for them anymore, like, they've gone their separate ways, you've gone your separate ways, and that's just all there is to it. Like, you will get to that day, but it just takes time and healing and just changing, just like moving on with your life, really. So I hope that helps. I know it's not the best advice, but it's just the truth, I think. But keep busy, try and keep busy as well. Like, that's a really good thing to kind of like just keep your mind off it too. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap it up here because I feel like I'm going to have about 2 hours of footage to edit and cut back because I've been speaking for so long. But I really hope you've enjoyed this little chitty chatty, what am I even saying? This chit chat, Q&A, catch up, just laid back kind of like gal talk vibe. Let me know if you've enjoyed it and give the video a thumbs up if you have, just so I know that you do like these kind of videos. I mean, I'm not going to like chew your ears off and do one every week or anything excessive like that, but yeah, anyway, I was thinking about doing a career one. I did put on Instagram because I did have a few questions about like more in-depth things like to do with like uni and like how to get a job out of uni, like what to study at uni, and how did I get in the fashion industry, what was my job, like what did it involve. I guess I kind of answered a bit of that in this video, did I? I don't even know what I've answered, but anyway, right, I'm gonna shut up. Thank you so much for watching as always, guys. If you're new here and you've got this far to the end of the video, I'd love it if you'd stick around, hit the subscribe button, and I shall see you all in my next video. Bye bye.